So we met at college.
We met at Clark University in Worcester.
And I had always wanted to try rock climbing. I never rock climbed before, but I knew that Jeff was a climber.
So we would see each other pretty regularly. I had been into rock climbing already for about a year. I invited Miranda.
I think I really invited myself.
Let's sort of invited herself, sure.
And like, obviously I thought he was cute. He is cute, but I also genuinely just wanted to try rock climbing with him and get to know him better. And I brought a friend with me.
There was sort of this debate about whether it was really a date or not.
And I remember Jeff drove us there to this gym in Worcester, and we were sitting in the back of the car, and the friend I brought was texting me, and he was like, "This is totally a date. Like, you brought me here and you've made me crash your date." I'm like, "It's not a date. There's no way that it's a date."
Looking back on it, we're still not entirely sure whether it was a date or not, but it certainly started our relationship.
I'm Miranda.
So my name's Jeff. I've been climbing actually now for about 8 years. Started climbing actually at Central Rock in Worcester. And Miranda and I have been climbing together now for 5 years or so. I always enjoyed climbing on things when I was little. I always liked climbing on rocks and trees. So as soon as my friends were like, "We're gonna go try this thing," I was like, "Yes, like count me in. I want to be part of this." And from my very first time being there, I signed up for a membership that day.
Oh, did you really? I don't think that I knew that. That's
It was that day.
See, it was kind of the opposite for me. I feel like I didn't fall in love with it immediately. Like, I really enjoyed it, but I think as a beginner, climbing with someone who's very good, it was a little bit intimidating, and it made it difficult for me to feel really confident in my climbing abilities. Because of course, especially for someone who didn't really work out a ton before rock climbing, like if you don't already have strength, you're probably gonna struggle a little bit. Like there is a learning curve to get used to. So for me, it wasn't an immediate click. I definitely liked it and enjoyed it, but it wasn't until many years later that I realized that I loved rock climbing. When I was in college and there was a gym a few yards away, just walking away from the dorm, so it was really easy to hop on a treadmill or an elliptical or lift weights and things like that. But after we both graduated and I didn't really have that available to me anymore, Jeff and I were still dating and wanted to be able to spend time together and hang out, and I knew he was still climbing. We'd go climbing together as a way to sort of stay fit but also spend time together. And that was sort of how I discovered that rock climbing is really an amazing workout and not just a fun thing to do. It is super fun. It's an amazing way to spend time with someone, and you get sort of downtime to talk with each other when you're not on the wall. But it's also made me the strongest I've ever been. And it doesn't feel like I'm working out so much when I'm on the wall. Whereas if I'm on a treadmill or something, all I can think about is, "Oh, I'm working out, I don't like this."
When you go out to dinner, right, you just kind of sit there and you look at each other and you have to think okay, what are we going to talk about now? But when you're at the rock climbing gym, it's like, "Oh man, how's that climb going? Oh, if you try XYZ for that move, maybe that'll work." It gives you a really concrete thing to look at, to talk about, to kind of experience together. So I think it is a really good way to kind of get to know someone without feeling like you need to be forcing yourself to make conversation.
And I think the other thing about rock climbing as a date, for example, is there's so many ways it can go to. If you're in my shoes and you're someone who's never really been climbing before as an adult and you go with someone who's really good, that's really impressive. And it's very, it's a turn on. You're "Holy crap, this guy's good." It just makes you interested and want to know more about the person. But then even if two people who don't really know how to rock climb go together, then that's a bonding experience, because you're probably gonna fall. It's gonna be hilarious. You'll have something to laugh over. I think the other thing too is just learning to be okay with falling. It's just with ice skating, not that I can ice skate, but I feel one thing that you have to accept and sort of get comfortable with is that there's a possibility you're gonna fall, but know that you will be okay. And it's the same thing with bouldering. I think for me, it was just this mental block that I had to get over, and it definitely helped to have an encouraging partner who said it's okay if you fall, you'll get back up and you'll, sit down and take a rest if you need to, but I'm here. Being in an environment like this and in a community where kind of the culture at CRG is just you get to know the people around you that you're climbing with. There's no fear in talking to whoever's around you, and that's exactly what happened. I was talking to a friend about taking a ferry onto the place we'll be living, which is this little island off the coast of Washington. And this girl who was sitting there was like, "Wait, what are you talking about? Where are you moving to?" And we got to talking, and it turns out, sure enough, she's also moving there. So we swapped numbers, gonna try and connect out there. So it's just that is a way that for me, CRG brings people together. It just makes it so easy to get to know the people you're climbing with, because everyone's friendly. knowing the capabilities of my body and kind of understanding like what I can do and feeling sort of connected to like moving around. Because again, like until I rock climbed, I did not do sports as a child. Like I did robotics, so it was not a thing that I did. So I never really knew what I was capable of doing physically. And I think for me, just like Jeff was saying, a lot of it is just being able to focus on these sort of small or big movements that you're doing. Again, discover what your body is able to do, which is amazing. We have amazing bodies. It's really great to be able to do that.
Definitely has an important part of our history in our lives. You know, like we were just talking about a few minutes ago, like our first real date was here. And, you know, I've spent so much of my time in the Central Rock gyms that I guess I just want to share how thankful I am for, you know, the opportunity to climb here and for, you know, the Central Rock gyms for being here and being so accepting and welcoming of us.
I'm Miranda.
And I'm Jeff.
And we started dating at Central Rock Gym 7 years ago. We've now been married for a little bit over a year. And we're rock climbers.